Hey, Coachy, trying to put together kind of a depth chart on your defense. Um, I guess my question is there any guy that from the depth chart that you guys published in June, was there any maybe guy that moved up and moved into a starting role? Maybe that would be the best way to ask it.
Uh, yeah, I apologize. I don't even remember what that was in June, what the depth chart was. If you could read it off to me, I'll try to remember who's who and who's where.
Uh, what if I just ask about the strong safety? Is it still Ammon Hanneman? Is he still the guy?
Yep,
That's probably the big.
Ammon and then Micah, Ammon and then Micah Harper.
Okay. That's probably the only one I can think of that I had a question on.
All right.
Coach, wanted to ask you to assess your defense as you round out training camp here and obviously now move into actual game week preparation mode.
Yeah, well, we've been pleased with a lot of things. Felt like the boys have played hard. We've stayed healthy throughout camp, which is huge for us. We're going to need all the help that we can get with our depth going into a season with 10 games and no buys, and so feel like we've got some good depth there, and we haven't played anybody yet, and that'll be the test is how we fare against some of these other teams, and so I think week one's certainly going to be a challenge for us on defense. I think it's a great offense that we're going to be facing.
I asked Kalani a similar question to this, and he said you guys have tried to recreate as much game-like atmosphere as you can, especially for the defense. I guess he said stress them. Can you kind of elaborate on as to how you guys have gone about doing that?
Yeah, no, just putting we normally go at a slower tempo at the beginning of fall camp with how much we install, the calls that we're putting on them, and we actually got to a point the end of the second week there where we were going into a scrimmage with more calls on our call sheet that we normally would carry into a game, and we were calling them all, and they were executing and performing. And so I feel like the depth and the experience there gives us the opportunity to do that. Now it's not saying that it's a smart thing to do. Just say let's carry as much as we can just because they can do it, but it was good. I thought it was good for the players. It was good for the youth. Some of the kids that are in there for the veteran guys to teach and to bring them along a little bit faster. But we put a lot on them that way.
Other questions for Coach? Jake, go ahead.
Yeah, Ilaisa, I wanted to ask you about Lorenzo Valencia. He's been injured, it sounds like, for the majority of the past 2 seasons, but how big is it to have him back and healthy and able to contribute along that defensive line?
Lorenzo's been it's been fun to have back. I mean, he's always been a leader. Ever since he was a freshman, it was always just he's got a lot of influence in the D-line room. But now as a senior, I mean, he comes back. He's a lot bigger than he was when he played. At first he was always playing around 285, 290ish. Now he's over 300 pounds, and I think that he's performing at a really high level in fall camp, and so really been pleased with him. He's going to be one that we definitely need for this year in the schedule.
Sean, go ahead.
I think 3 years into the pandemic, I learned how to unmute my mic, Coach, but apparently I still don't. No, I'm just wondering because we heard a lot over the offseason about the offense, and obviously with everything coming back, it's pretty well deserved and well merited. Kalani was talking about even a lot of talk being about the head coach and his questionable dance moves some during the offseason as well. Do the defensive guys I don't want to say necessarily hear that because I'm sure they're trying to conclude themselves the best they can. But do they notice stuff like that? Because it just feels like during fall they've had a little extra edge to them. Maybe they have something to prove at all. Have you seen that through these first, or I guess these only few weeks of fall camp?
We have a really good offense, right? You've mentioned it. I'm sure there's a lot of people talking about it, and I think it's warranted. I mean, our offense is really good. Our defense battles with them every single day. I'm sure there's things that are being said, but we're a lot more concerned just about everybody doing their part and showing up. And I think when we are everybody's doing their part and doing what they're supposed to be doing, we're pretty good on defense as well. And so there was a lot of games, or especially early last year, where we needed to play really good defense to win. And later in the year, I felt like our offense did just a phenomenal job carrying us. And as we were battling through injuries and stuff, we still were winning games with the offense doing their thing and us just trying to contribute the best that we can. So right now, with where we're at, it's we know that we have a really good offense. We know that we're battling with them every single day. Nobody ever wants to say they're a chump, right? Like. We don't go out there as a defense and say, "Oh, we're facing a good offense. We're just going to bow down." I mean, every day it's a battle, and I think for our players, it's more just personal pride, self-pride, and just trying to do what we can to win games. And so, after the 2 weeks of beating up on each other, we're excited as a team, offense and defense, to focus our energy somewhere else and start preparing for the task at hand and be ready to win some games, starting with this first one. And so we're excited for it. But I don't know if there's anything necessarily that's it definitely hasn't been anything that we've talked about as a defense or as a staff as far as just any accolades or anything. We just want to play good ball. We want to make the fans happy and win some games. And so I think that's been the focus for us. And we know that it's going to take a lot of humility from a lot of our players that are capable of starting for us as well as starting at other places, but they're playing backup roles and contributing in other ways. And I think that's been more of a focus for us, is just trying to be selfless and go out there and play ball and win games as a team.
That's a really good answer, Coach. Thank you.
We'll take one last question from Jay.
Yeah, Coach, I was wondering what does Ammon Hanneman bring, and why was he able to win the job? And also, how did the transition of Micah Harper to safety go?
Yeah, Ammon has just been consistent. I mean, he's consistently gotten better and better and better, and he's playing at a high level right now, just understanding, anticipating, things to happen on offense, and he's given us a lot of good reps. And so, normally, anyone that's playing consistently and doing their job the right way is the one that wins the starting job. And so, he's certainly been a guy that's shown through last year in this fall camp that he's capable of doing that. And Micah, just it was going to end up being his position in the future is what we thought. We thought that he projected the best if he was going to get a shot and looked at in the NFL as a safety. And so ended up moving him. Felt like there's an opening there just for some competition with a lot of the safeties that were coming back from last year. And so with him being there, feel like he gives us a great two deep. Plan on, obviously the two deep on defense plays just because of the nature of the game and and what's expected of them. But both of those two are going to do a good job for us this year and bring a lot of competitiveness and just what we need at the strong safety spot.